Hey ratbags, last week I told you there was a rumour that Grounded was coming to PlayStation, and it looks like that indeed is true. Not only that, but it might be confirming absolutely that Grounded 2 is happening, although we've heard about this from the game director himself, that they are looking at other ways to take Grounded in the future. It's all coming together, and this is courtesy of the Xbox podcast that went live tonight, addressing some of them rumours that have been going on since last week. So let's go, my favourite game of the last few years, and how I'm so excited for it to come to other platforms. Although do be careful, this isn't 100% official just yet, but based on a lot of reports that have gone live.
Let me start a little bit outside of that, and then I'll get to the four specific games that we're talking about right now. Because the fundamental decision driver for any decision that we make, anything we're going to talk about today, is the long-term health of Xbox.
Yada, yada, yada.
But now back to the specifics of the question on these four specific titles. We looked at games that are over a year old, so they've been on Xbox and PC for a while. A couple of the games are community-driven games, new games that kind of first iterations of a franchise that have reached their full potential, I'd say, on Xbox and PC. There's always growth. Franchises that we obviously want to continue to invest in. Part of having the ability to continue to invest is that the businesses behind those franchises continue. We think it's important that these service-based games that have communities behind them, that they can have confidence that they're going to exist in the future. So two of them, kind of community-driven games that will end up on other platforms and give us the ability to continue to invest in them. We think that's great for the business and great for the communities, more players to play with. I'd say two of the other games are smaller games that were never really meant to be built as kind of platform exclusives and all the fanfare that goes around that, but games that our teams really wanted to go build, that we love supporting creative endeavors across our studios regardless of size. And as they've realized their full potential on Xbox and PC, we see an opportunity to utilize the other platforms as a place to just drive more business value out of those games, allowing us to invest in maybe future iterations of those, so sequels to those, or just other games like that in our portfolio.
There we go, boring as hell, but I thought I'd better show and play the full thing. So when you then go and look online, there's a whole bunch of reports now out in Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, as well as Pentiment, as the four games come into Switch and PlayStation. So Grounded is one of them community games. There's no way Hi-Fi Rush is considered that, nor Pentiment. Two really small, really kind of obscure, great little games, but certainly not in the major ballpark of selling millions of copies or being super, super popular. Grounded was, as of course was Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves released some numbers about how many players have played on Games Pass just towards the end of last year, and I think it hit 20 million, which wasn't that far ahead of the 15 million that Grounded reported a year and a half ago. You might not think of Grounded being that kind of game because Sea of Thieves is like a server-based game where lots of players join, but Grounded, with its shared world features and the fact that so many people did install it, whether or not they all played it, 15 million have, it is a big game, and it has been community driven because it was in game preview and early access. When he talks about growing the franchise, well, that's the animated TV show incoming as well. Part of the plans that we had from the interview with Adam Brennecke and Phil Spencer a good while ago now did state that they were looking to grow Grounded in other ways. In maybe we thought just other games in the universe set with the Grounded brand. But the TV animated show is still coming, and if you're trying to drum up interest in this TV show, if you want to make Grounded a brand new big franchise that lots of players can enjoy, then you need more people to play the base game, the original version of it. Otherwise, people watching on TV, they're not going to care, especially if they're PlayStation or Switch players. They're just like, well, yeah, it could be a cool, interesting cartoon, but definitely if you're a fan of Grounded, you're going to be invested in that TV show and potential for whatever else, maybe movies and other games set in the Grounded universe. So diving deeper into my tinfoil hat theory, I recently learned that PlayStation has a pretty strict system nowadays of getting your game certified, especially if the game is already released on other platforms. They basically expect you to have parity for 3 months. So if you're going to release something on PlayStation, then you've got a game on Xbox, you can't update that game on Xbox for 3 months, otherwise PlayStation won't allow you to have that game on their platform. It's not the same process, or it might be before games come out if they haven't been released on any platform, hence why we see like COD and other stuff come to all platforms. Strictly talking about games that have been out elsewhere and then want to come to PlayStation. PlayStation enforce this. They also say it's down to certification and checking the game's going to be okay and everything else. But this was from a very reputable leak source of mine that works in the game dev industry. And I checked it out with a couple others as well, and it said that PlayStation have been a little bit more thorough and maybe a bit more difficult in getting games out on their platform. They don't want that game to be updated and make basically other platforms have better content or more content. Even if PlayStation does eventually get all the updates, they still want to be parity. Hence why you don't see that many early access titles on PlayStation. It's not because they don't have a service for it. Ark has come out twice now, even though it's technically been an early access game. Hundreds of free-to-play games, well, maybe not hundreds, but lots have come out, and they have all been okay, even though they're early access titles. It is more to do with this system, where usually game preview games do update their games fairly regularly, and so they can't go 3 months without no updates. Obviously, we knew that this next update for Grounded 1.4 would be a good few months away. The tease with the mysterious door, and of course the Playgrounds update and the next minor Playgrounds patch that went live. We did hear that it might be a while. It'd be the same kind of time in a distance as the update beforehand took. So that was about 4 months, nearly 5 months. So what if 1.4 is coming to Xbox, but it's also coming as a full game to PlayStation 5, to Nintendo Switch? What if at the same time we start seeing more news about the animated TV show incoming too? Some people are doubting that the Switch could handle Grounded. Listen, it's had Ark ported twice to it. It's had games like Green Hell, The Long Dark. Not forgetting the big AAA games like Doom. Now I'm not saying them games run great or are actually good, but some of them could be considered alright. The Long Dark and the second Ark remaster was okay or much better than the original. And with Nintendo 2 actually meant to be coming out, Nintendo Switch later on this year, who knows, maybe Grounded will be one of the first wave to actually appear on the next gen Switch. So either way, we are going to have to wait a while. It does look like Pentiment, which seems basically tailor-made to come on the Switch, likewise Hi-Fi Rush. They'll be out first, and I'll be surprised if they're not released in the next couple of months. And then, yeah, maybe come May or June, it's when I've been predicting at least, when the next Grounded update would come out. Maybe that's when we're going to see it hit as well as the other platforms. And it would be amazing. I've wanted to do a video talking about Grounded and me covering other games. I've been doing Power World, I've been doing Small Land, although I have covered Small Land since, like, even before Grounded was a thing, because believe it or not, Small Land was announced first. But Grounded is just amazing for me. It's one of my favourite games. It's also one of my most successful. So if I can see a way that I can continue making good content for Grounded, hopefully, then I'm always going to be returning. Whether it's the update or whether now it's potential being on Switch and PlayStation. So don't panic, don't worry, I'm not leaving. I just was having a break to cover some other games. But I've always had plans to do a WoW mode playthrough and maybe do a bit more with other creators, as well as finally check out some of them Playgrounds that never really got a chance to. Absolutely, the Playgrounds update didn't maybe hit as good or as big as I thought it would. It was kind of weird time of the year, and I think a lot of people were expecting a survival update. I still think Playgrounds is one of the best things they've added to add longevity to players that can enhance and embrace it, but there certainly are some players that just want to carry on playing a new experience or have a new boss. By the way, that mysterious door does look like it is going to be a boss portal. Everyone's found in the game files most recently that it indeed is registered as a boss room. So that portal might have more to it, but at the moment that's what's hidden in the game files. So I'm hyped and excited. It's the perfect thing for me. So many games I've covered over the years I've got sick of playing, or I just don't like the way the devs have turned their games into, like Conan Exiles or like Ark. But other games like Valheim and Grounded, any excuse to come back, because I genuinely love playing them. Like, there's something about them I just really like. They're chill, relaxing, or exciting, and they have got me having that perfect thing of being good for my channel, but also really enjoyable. And the Grounded community has given me so much over the years. So absolutely, I want to always be returning for any new content or any kind of news or info. As soon as we get any more details, I'll be hounding around for this now. Don't you worry. I'll be the first to report when we get a release date for PlayStation or Switch and any other news about 1.4. If it turns out some of this info ends up being wrong and it's not Grounded, of course I'll let you know. But like I said, pretty much all the industry insiders are saying it is Grounded now. I don't want to hear anyone complaining, oh no, it should be Xbox exclusive. Shut up. We want our game to grow, right? You want Grounded to be a big franchise that can continue to get games. It can get the sequel that Adam Brennicky kind of alluded to, and others. We want it to have a massive impact. I don't want any of that console fanboy nonsense. People that get super addicted or just loving a brand like a Sony or a Microsoft. You're weird. It should be about being able to play whatever game you want and enjoy on whatever console you prefer. And that's it. I'll be back very soon for more Grounded content. That WOMO playthrough is going to be going live in about 2 weeks' time. Until then, I'm going to be still focused on a bit of Small Lands, maybe a little bit of Power World, but I will be focusing on Nightingale on my other channel. So please go and check that out if you want to see more of that game. And that's it. Until next time, ratbags. Laters.